Hey, welcome back. We're doing brioche French toast. And of course we're gonna make our own bread. Just two little pieces of equipment you should always have for baking. Scale, we weigh in grams, and one of these instant read thermometers, but I'll get into why later. Let's do it. All right, we're gonna take 200 grams of 95 to 100 Fahrenheit milk, add a little sugar and all of our yeast to that and mix. After everything's dissolved, we're gonna let it sit for 8 to 10 minutes where it will look like this, all bubbly and frothy. Add flour to your stand mixer. You can of course do this by hand. It'll just be a little messy and you'll see why later. As it starts to mix, add your yeasty milk that is nice and bloomed, scraping down the sides of that mixing bowl to get everything incorporated. Then add your eggs, one at a time so they incorporate nicely. Continue scraping down the sides for a good even mix until it looks about like this. And that's when we're gonna start adding our butter just a little bit at a time and giving it a chance to incorporate before you beat the hell out of it like this. Once your dough is smooth, you can remove it from the hook and put it on your surface, shape it into a ball, and put it in an oiled bowl to rise for an hour or two maximum. You can cover yours with plastic. I use a plate because I have a big bowl. What can I say? After it's rise, we're gonna punch it down and then weigh it. Check us out. That felt good. All right, we're gonna take that 940 and divide it by 3, and you'll see what I get here. If yours isn't exact, don't worry about it, it's fine. Just divide it into thirds evenly and shape each third into a ball. So I found that using a toaster oven with this loaf pan is a perfect size, especially for this last proof. So I put the rack on the bottom. I'm not gonna turn on the oven. I'm just gonna set it in there for its last proof. Probably about 30 minutes or so, just like that. Oven's off and everything. And while this is happening, I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven. All right? All right. Into a small bowl, we're gonna crack 1 egg, and we're gonna mix it with just a few splashes of water, and that's gonna be our egg wash. So I'm on the floor to tell you one important thing. See a little homeboy right there? My oven runs cold. This should be at 390 and I have it set to 410, and now it's actually hitting 390. So if you're kind of a perfectionist like myself, then you'll want one of these. Cool? Okay. All right, at this point, about 30 minutes or so later, we finished our final rise, and we're just gonna take it and put some of that egg wash we made on each little bump before placing it in the preheated oven. Well, this has been a very cathartic afternoon. So, I don't even know how long I'm supposed to leave this in here. I usually just go by color. I'll give you an estimated time in the description along with the oven settings. Man, I'm red. It's hot in here. So this is gonna finish baking, and this is gonna make some mean French toast. And it looks like my oven's getting a little cool again. I'll probably turn up the temp just a little bit, you know. Anyhow, stick around and we'll see that result in a second. Sounds great. And this is gonna cool down probably like all night. You should leave it at least an hour or two if you just want to make this and dig in, I totally respect that. Look how gnarly and huge it got. That is the oven spring. So I'm just gonna let this guy hang out on the counter and hope, you know, it's still here when I get back. All right, now we're at our French toast batter. We're gonna start by cracking 2 large eggs into a bowl, followed by a cup of milk. I believe I use whole milk. And then we're gonna just add a little squirt of pure vanilla extract and whisk it together to combine before adding some of this maple sugar. I believe I used about 2 tablespoons of that. Whisk till it's all dissolved. And that's all there is to it. We have our batter ready to go. Alright, in a preheated skillet, we're going to add a knob of butter, and you'll hear it sizzle. That's how you know it's hot enough. Once our toast has been sizzling away for a while, we're going to check the underside, make sure it's brown as we like it. If not, just give it some more time before flipping it. It's up to you how dark you want it. For a personal touch, I'm going to sprinkle some granulated sugar onto one side and torch it to make a nice bruleed sheet. And last homemade element here will be whipped cream. We're going to go in with a cup of heavy cream and 2 tablespoons of sugar, and we're going to whisk it till it thickens. Don't let this editing fool you. This takes a while and you're going to get a workout. Nearly at the end, we're going to plate with 2 pieces of our French toast with bruleed sugar on top. We're going to add a dollop of our whipped cream. I recommend letting your toast cool a little bit more than I did, and you can see the consequences of that. And then a nice drizzle of real organic maple syrup on top. Thank you so much if you watched all the way to the end of this video. If you have questions about any of the equipment I used, I'm going to have everything in the description along with recipes and measurements. So we'll get you covered there. We'll see you next time.